93. Zhuge Liang's Longzhong strategy. After the Battle of Guanju, Liu Bei fled to Jingzhou and sought refuge with Liu Biao, the provincial governor. Liu Biao provided him with a small military force and stationed him at Xinya, modern-day Xinya County, Henan. Liu Bei lived in Jingzhou for several years, during which Liu Biao treated him as an honored guest. However, Liu Bei was a man of great ambition, and as the years passed without significant progress toward his goals, he became increasingly restless. One day, as he sat absent-mindedly touching his thigh, he suddenly felt a pang of sorrow and tears welled up in his eyes. Liu Biao noticed and asked, "What troubles you, my friend?" Liu Bei sighed and replied, "It's nothing. In the past, I was constantly at war, always on horseback. My thighs were lean and muscular. But now, after years of inactivity, my legs have grown fat. Days pass like flowing water, and I am growing old without having achieved anything meaningful. It saddens me." Liu Biao tried to console him, but Liu Bei remained focused on his long-term aspirations. He knew that to realize his dreams, he needed a brilliant strategist to assist him. Seeking a wise counselor, Liu Bei heard of a renowned scholar in Xiangyang named Sima Hui, so he traveled to meet him. Sima Hui welcomed Liu Bei and asked about the purpose of his visit. Liu Bei said, "To be frank, I have come to seek your guidance on the affairs of the world." Sima Hui laughed and shook his head, saying, "I am but a simple man. What could I possibly know of world affairs? If you wish to discuss such matters, you should seek out true talents." Liu Bei pleaded, "Then where might I find such talents?" Sima Hui replied, "In this region, there are two extraordinary men, Wolong, the sleeping dragon, ***, and Fengchu, the young phoenix. If you can secure the assistance of either one, you will have the power to bring peace to the land." Excited, Liu Bei quickly asked who they were, and Sima Hui told him. Wolong refers to Zhuge Liang, courtesy name Kongming. Fengchu refers to Pang Tong, courtesy name Shi Yuan. Liu Bei thanked Sima Hui and returned to Xinya. Shortly after, a scholar visited him, displaying elegant manners and great intelligence. Thinking this must be either Wolong or Fengchu, Liu Bei welcomed him warmly. However, after conversing for a while, Liu Bei realized that the man was not Zhuge Liang or Pang Tong, but rather Xu Shu, another respected scholar who had come to offer his services. Liu Bei was delighted and appointed Xu Shu as his military advisor. Xu Shu recommends Zhuge Liang. One day, Xu Shu told Liu Bei, "I have a close friend named Zhuge Kongming, known as Wolong. He is a man of great wisdom. Would you like to meet him?" Liu Bei eagerly asked for more details. Xu Shu explained that Zhuge Liang was not originally from Jingzhou. He was born in Yangzhou County, Langya Commandery, modern-day Yixie, Shandong. After his father's death, his uncle, Zhuge Xian, took him to Jingzhou, where he was raised under Liu Biao's protection. However, his uncle also passed away, leaving Zhuge Liang to settle in Longzhong, modern-day Xiangyang, Hubei. There, he lived in seclusion, reading, farming, and studying strategy. Though only 27 years old, Zhuge Liang was already widely respected for his scholarship and insight. He often compared himself to legendary statesmen like Guanzhong and Li Yi, believing that he could bring stability to the land. However, he had little interest in serving Liu Biao, whom he saw as weak and indecisive. Instead, he remained in seclusion, waiting for a leader worthy of his talents. Liu Bei, impressed by Xu Shu's recommendation, asked him to invite Zhuge Liang for a meeting. Xu Shu shook his head, saying, "That won't work. A man like him must be sought out personally. If you want his help, you must go to him yourself." Liu Bei's 3 visits to Zhuge Liang. Having heard both Sima Hui and Xu Shu speak highly of Zhuge Liang, Liu Bei became determined to recruit him. He set out for Longzhong, accompanied by Guan Yu and Zhong Fei. However, when they arrived at Zhuge Liang's cottage, they found he was not home. Disappointed, they returned to Xinya. Zhong Fei, impatient, complained, "If this man is so arrogant that he won't even meet us, why should we bother with him?" But Liu Bei was patient, recalling Xu Shu's advice. He returned a second time, only to find that Zhuge Liang was away again. Undeterred, Liu Bei went a third time, despite the protests of Guan Yu and Zhong Fei. This time, Zhuge Liang was home and agreed to meet with Liu Bei. The Longzhong strategy. Inside the thatched cottage, Liu Bei left Guan Yu and Zhong Fei outside, speaking privately with Zhuge Liang. With deep sincerity, Liu Bei said, "The Han dynasty is crumbling, and the imperial court is controlled by traitors. I know I lack great ability, yet I long to restore order. I have come to seek your guidance." Seeing Liu Bei's genuine humility, Zhuge Liang decided to share his vision. Cao Cao has already defeated Yuan Shao and now commands an army of 1 million. He controls the emperor and issues orders in his name. Fighting him head-on is unwise. Meanwhile, Sun Quan rules Jiangdong, a land secured by 3 generations of his family. With its natural defenses and talented ministers, it is best to ally with him, not oppose him. Zhuge Liang then analyzed the geopolitical landscape, emphasizing the strategic importance of Jingzhou and Izhou, modern Sichuan, Yunnan, and parts of Gansu, Hubei, and Guizhou. Jingzhou was a vital military hub, but Liu Biao was too weak to hold it. Izhou was fertile and well defended, known as the Land of Heaven, but its ruler, Liu Zhong, was weak and unpopular. Finally, Zhuge Liang outlined his plan. You, general, are a descendant of the Han imperial family and already famous across the land. If you seize Jingzhou and Izhou, form an alliance with Sun Quan, and focus on governance and military strength, you will have the foundation for restoring the Han dynasty. When the opportunity arises, you can march from these 2 strongholds to attack Cao Cao. If you follow this plan, you will gain the support of the people, and your legacy will be secured. Hearing this, Liu Bei was deeply moved and exclaimed, "Your words have opened my mind. I will follow your advice. Please, come with me." Zhuge Liang, seeing Liu Bei's sincerity, agreed to serve him, marking the beginning of their legendary partnership. This event became known as the 3 visits to the thatched cottage, and Zhuge Liang's grand strategy became known as the Longzhong Plan. Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang's partnership. From that day forward, Liu Bei treated Zhuge Liang as his mentor, while Zhuge Liang served Liu Bei with unwavering loyalty. However, Guan Yu and Zhong Fei were skeptical, believing that Zhuge Liang was too young to be a true strategist. Liu Bei rebuked them. "With Kongming at my side, I am like a fish that has found water. Do not question my decision." Guan Yu and Zhong Fei reluctantly accepted Liu Bei's trust in Zhuge Liang. From this point on, Zhuge Liang played a crucial role in shaping Liu Bei's destiny, helping him establish Shu Han in the era of the 3 kingdoms. 94. Zhu Yu's fire attack at the Battle of Red Cliffs. After Cao Cao unified the north, in 208 AD, he led a massive army southward to attack Liu Biao in Jingzhou. However, before Cao Cao's forces even arrived, Liu Biao suddenly died. His son, Liu Cong, was so terrified by Cao Cao's military strength that he immediately surrendered without a fight. At the time, Liu Bei was stationed in Fancheng, modern Shenyang, Hubei. Upon hearing that Cao Cao was advancing, Liu Bei decided to retreat to Jiangling, modern Jiangling, Hubei. The people of Jingzhou, who admired Liu Bei's benevolence, chose to follow him rather than remain under Cao Cao's rule. Cao Cao's pursuit at Changban. When Cao Cao reached Shenyang, he learned that Liu Bei was retreating toward Jiangling. He also discovered that Liu Biao had stored a large amount of military supplies there. Fearing that Liu Bei might seize these supplies, Cao Cao personally led 5,000 elite cavalrymen in pursuit. Liu Bei's forces, burdened with weapons, equipment, and over 100,000 civilians, could only march a few miles per day. In contrast, Cao Cao's cavalry covered over 300 miles in a single day and night, quickly catching up with Liu Bei at Changban, modern-day Dangyang, Hubei. The result was a devastating rout. Cao Cao's cavalry charged into Liu Bei's scattered forces, slaughtering soldiers and civilians alike. In the chaos, Zhong Fei led a desperate rearguard action at Changban, holding off Cao Cao's forces for long enough to allow Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang to escape with a small force. However, Cao Cao had already cut off the road to Jiangling, forcing Liu Bei to change his route and retreat to Xiakou, modern Wuhan, Hubei. Liu Bei seeks an alliance with Sun Quan. With Cao Cao's army advancing rapidly, Zhuge Liang advised Liu Bei. The situation is dire. Our only option is to seek an alliance with Sun Quan. Coincidentally, Sun Quan, fearing that Cao Cao would conquer all of Jingzhou, had already sent Lu Su to meet with Liu Bei and propose an alliance. Thus, Zhuge Liang traveled with Lu Su to Chaisang, modern Zhejiang, Jiangxi, to negotiate with Sun Quan. When Zhuge Liang met Sun Quan, he stated, "Cao Cao has already conquered Jingzhou and will soon march on eastern Wu. If you are determined to resist, you must sever ties with him now and join forces with us. If you hesitate, it will be too late when disaster strikes." Sun Quan countered, "Why does General Liu not simply surrender to Cao Cao?" Zhuge Liang sternly replied, "General Liu is a descendant of the Han imperial family and a hero of his time. How could he lower himself to serve Cao Cao?" Hearing this, Sun Quan was stirred, declaring, "I, too, will not surrender Jiangdong and my 100,000 troops without a fight. But tell me, Liu Bei has just suffered defeat, how can he still resist Cao Cao?" Zhuge Liang reassured him, "Do not worry. General Liu still commands 20,000 elite naval troops. Although Cao Cao's army is large, they are exhausted from long marches. Moreover, northern soldiers are inexperienced in naval warfare, and the people of Jingzhou do not trust them. If we unite our forces, we will surely defeat them." Sun Quan was greatly encouraged by Zhuge Liang's reasoning and immediately convened a council of war. Sun Quan rejects surrender. At this time, Cao Cao sent an envoy demanding Eastern Wu surrender. His message read, "By order of the Emperor, I lead a force of 800,000 men on this southern campaign. If you dare, let us settle this in battle." When Sun Quan's officials read the letter, they turned pale with fear. Among them, Zhong Zhao, the most senior minister, advised surrender. "Cao Cao commands the Emperor's army. Resisting him puts us in the wrong. Moreover, we had hoped to rely on the Yangtze River for defense, but now that he has captured Jingzhou and assembled a massive fleet, we cannot possibly resist. I suggest we surrender." Many other officials agreed with Zhong Zhao, but Lu Su remained silent. Frustrated, Sun Quan left the meeting and spoke privately with Lu Su. "What do you think we should do?" Lu Su replied, "Everything Zhong Zhao said is nonsense. I could surrender and still live comfortably as a scholar. But if you surrender, all of Jiangdong will fall into Cao Cao's hands. Where will you go then?" Sun Quan sighed and nodded. "The council's words disappointed me. Only you have spoken what I truly feel." Following Lu Su's advice, Sun Quan summoned Zhu Yu from Poyang to discuss strategy. Zhu Yu's determination. Upon Zhu Yu's arrival in Chaisang, Sun Quan once again convened his officials. Zhu Yu passionately declared, "Cao Cao may claim to serve the emperor, but he is nothing more than a traitor. Now that he has come seeking his own death, why should we surrender?" He then analyzed the situation, pointing out, Cao Cao's troops were untrained in naval combat. His forces had marched long distances and would soon suffer from disease. Even with superior numbers, his army would not be effective in the southern terrain. Hearing this, Sun Quan's confidence grew. He drew his sword and slashed his desk, declaring, "Anyone who suggests surrender again will end up like this table." That night, Zhu Yu met privately with Sun Quan, saying, "Cao Cao claims to have 800,000 troops, but this is an exaggeration. In reality, he has only 200,000 men, many of whom are unwilling conscripts from Jingzhou. If you grant me 50,000 troops, I guarantee victory." The next day, Sun Quan appointed Zhu Yu as supreme commander, granting him 30,000 elite naval troops to fight alongside Liu Bei. The fire attack at Red Cliffs. Zhu Yu's fleet engaged Cao Cao's vanguard at Red Cliffs, modern Chibi, Hubei. As expected, Cao Cao's soldiers, suffering from disease and unfamiliar with water combat, were quickly defeated and forced to retreat to the northern bank of the Yangtze River. Observing the northerners' struggles with naval combat, Cao Cao ordered his ships to be chained together to increase stability. Noticing this, Zhu Yu's officer Huang Gari proposed a fire attack. "Cao Cao's fleet is clustered together. We can destroy them with fire." Zhu Yu approved the plan. Huang Gari then sent a fake surrender letter to Cao Cao, claiming he wished to defect. Cao Cao, arrogant and unsuspecting, accepted Huang Gari's offer. That winter, a strong southeast wind arose, perfect for a fire attack. Huang Gari loaded 10 large ships with dry reeds and oil, disguising them as supply ships. At night, he sailed them straight toward Cao Cao's fleet. When the ships were 2 miles away, the sailors set them ablaze. The wind fanned the flames, and the fire ships crashed into Cao Cao's chained fleet, turning it into a massive inferno. Panic ensued, the fire spread to Cao Cao's riverbank camps, and his entire army fell into chaos. As Cao Cao's forces scrambled in terror, Zhu Yu launched a full-scale attack, his war drums thundering across the battlefield. Cao Cao's army completely collapsed. He barely escaped through the swamps of Huarong, leaving behind tens of thousands of soldiers dead or drowned. Aftermath. Following Cao Cao's devastating defeat, Liu Bei and Zhu Yu pursued him to Jiangling. More than half of Cao Cao's forces perished, either in battle, by disease, or drowning. Cao Cao abandoned his ambitions in the south and returned to the north, leaving behind only Cao Ren, Xu Huang, and Yu Jin to hold Jiangling and Xiangyang. Thus, the Battle of Red Cliffs decisively shaped the three kingdoms, solidifying Sun Quan's rule in the south, while Liu Bei laid the foundation for the state of Shuhan.